Otherwise, it will throw a error issue. Error. It will say 400 error saying that unauthentication. So it will say unauthorized. It will say unauthorized here 401, or sometimes it may say 400 bad request. So that's how, without the headers nowadays, the modern applications may not respond properly, because this header will have all the authentication details. Header will have all the authentication. So sending the headers is important, because this will act as a authentication. So that's important. Okay, sir, how do we do that? To create headers, you say headers is equals to whatever the authentication method you have. For example, sir, I wanted to mention auth is equals to so some token you will say XYZ784, some access key, or the bearer token, or whatever it is. If it is a bearer token, the bearer token will have be so something like that it will have. Okay, so that's how you must provide the authentication details, then only it will have properly, it will respond properly. Okay, so this is how all the things will be. Headers must be provided. Now let me give you a simple example with the headers. Right, so for example, whenever you are actually uh, you know getting some kind of a response, it is better to handle the error. Always check the response status, then only you go for the whatever the thing that you wanted to be. So for example, sir, I'm importing the request. This is my URL. So response is equal to request dot get URL. If the response dot status code equals to 200, then only I would like to do something. Okay, then only the print success, and out of it I wanted to get the data in the form of a JSON format, and from that I wanted to take only the first you can say zeroth index, or I wanted to take the name of it. So whatever you wanted to do it, right, whatever the action, whatever the amount of data that you wanted to access it, you only do it if the status equals to 200, else it will print fail. So now look at, see here, see, it is success, I'm getting the name properly. But assume that your URL is wrong, and if you try to run it, and it will say failed, because the URL itself, it is wrong. I have given some additional entries here, you see. So I say a random thing here. When I try to run it, it will say my status is failed. Okay, so that I don't have to do anything, right? So that's how, according to the status code only, it is better to proceed with the rest of the activities. So this is called as a handling the errors within your REST API request. Okay, whenever you are getting the response, it is always better to check the status first and then proceed with the rest of the things. Okay, and similarly, exceptional handling also you can go for. This is an example with an exceptional handling. So for example, look at here, import request, try and accept block. So I'm going to say, so you can remove this thing. So look at here. So I have a try block where I am going to get the response from the URL, and I'm going to print the URL. If that response is valid, if the URL is valid, you are getting the response, then everything goes good. There's no problem out of it. But if anything goes wrong, you can also go for accept exception as E, or accept request dot exceptions dot request exception as E, right? It will throw an error properly. So for example, if everything goes good, so you get the output like this. Okay, you get the output. But assume that you have given a wrong URL, and if you are running it, and it will say, hey, it is empty. Okay, so it is empty, and it say yes, one more thing. Okay, or if you wanted to raise the proper error, I would say raise for status. So if you wanted to, even before printing the data, you can see raise for status. What it will do, it will print 404 client error, not found URL. The URL is not found. So this particular line item, which will tell you, it will raising the exception. It is raising the exception, you can go for it. Okay, so this is how, whenever you are actually interacting with the resources via get or any of the methods, better to go for exceptional handling also. Or if you, while you are getting the request, you can also go for timeout, right? So you can also go for timeout. Sir, I would like to mention timeout equals to 10 seconds or 15 seconds. You can also mention timeout also. Within the time, if you are not able to get the data, it will again throw an error. Within the time, if you're not able to get any of the output, and it will again throw an error saying that timed out. Okay, so that's all. Right, so these are all the things are there. Similarly, there's a one real world example. Sir, if you guys wanted to get the data from the weather API, you must provide the REST API. See, if you wanted to get the data from the weather API, right? Response is equal to request.get weather API. So, for example, we do not have any weather API. Sir, I would like to, you wanted to get the weather report. In your entire data engineering, you wanted to get the weather report of today or yesterday. But you do not have any data that is related to in your entire website or database. You do not have a weather data, but somewhere in the some organization or some third party application manages this weather information, right? You can extract the data using an API, and you can use that data and print the weather information, and you can use that information for your analytics purpose in your project. That's possible. So but how do I get it? You can go, I would search for free. It's mostly, it is not free. I'm searching for free weather API. Mostly some of the things are not free. Open weather API, is it free? Okay, that's not free. Open, including for non-commercial use, no API required. It provides global resolution. And okay, let's go with this one, free weather API. Let's see if it is possible. So if you guys wanted to get the data from the this particular API, see there is a docs also. Click on this docs. Real-time weather data if you wanted to, 14-day weather forecast if you wanted to get any of these things. So you have to see parameters you can provide. So this is your base URL. I'm going to copy this base URL, and I'm going to say my weather API. Oh, this something. Can I try it out? Will it work? Yeah, it's actually, this is free. So there's one of the open Meteo. We were looking at this thing, right? You see, so there is open Meteo is one of the things. So which one can able to get the open weather information. Try the API here. If you wanted to try it out, so they will give you some kind of information also how to try it out. No, where is that API? Seamless weather forecast, temperature. Somewhere the usage will be there. So API documentation, here it is. So this is what it is, guys. So openmeteo.com/v1/forecast. So this is what you have to do. I think that is what it is used here. Open, yeah, you can see openmeteo.com/v1/forecast. So if you guys wanted to get the data about attitude or longitude, if you wanted to get it, or if you don't wanted to get anything, you can mention. So in this documentation, you can use forecast. Okay, so I can say forecast. Okay, if you want, if I wanted to get the entire data, I can get the entire data. This will give me, oh, it's asking me to use the expecting in a specific value. We are going to mention a specific, we will go with this one, whatever you have here. You can see, because you can see here latitude and longitude, you must require the value required is yes, and the rest of the things are not required. So if you wanted to get a weather information, you must pass on your coordinates, right? Where do you wanted to get the weather information, right? So you can see some of one of the example here, latitude 52.1, longitude is this one. So if you wanted to get weather details at a certain particular area, you cannot specify the location. Instead, you have to specify the latitude and longitude. So that's what we are mentioning here, right? So that's what we are mentioning. Latitude is this value and longitude is this value. Current weather is true. Yes. So this is how you can able to get the JSON output. So that's how, if one wanted to get the real world weather information, or if you wanted to get some employee data from some website, or if you wanted to get some kind of a details about your Amazon or Flipkart or anything, Twitter or YouTube or WhatsApp, these are all expose their data in the form of an API. We can able to interact with them to extract the data, and we can utilize that information for analyzing our own content. Okay, so this is all about the REST APIs, everyone. Similarly, one more example for the employees. So if you give employee API, we will be able to get the employee name for each of the employees. And if one wanted to interact with the Google Cloud services or AWS services or Azure services also, one can able to do that. One can able to interact. So whenever you are interacting it, you have to, if you are interacting with the Google Cloud API, you must provide the URL as well as header, the access token. So you must provide that. So this is how one can able to interact with any of the cloud platform and interact with any of the open source web services also. And in the companies, most of the things are not open source. You will be, your company will have an authentication details. Using that, you can able to interact with those APIs, pull the data and parse it, transform it, load it to your warehouse tools for the analytics purpose. So that's what is going to happen in your projects, guys. Okay, yeah. Thank you all.